Hello and welcome to another SkaredCast Battle Report. Today I'm playing Evan, who you've seen on the channel before, as a bystander. And we're playing Escalation, that's right. 1,500 points of Imperial Guard with a Baneblade against my Vect army. This is Evan's army. It looks amazing. This is one of the old armor cast Baneblades, which is awesome. Also means it's smaller than usual and very easy to maneuver, kind of like a Land Raider. We have 3 units of veterans with camo cloaks, with some flamers. We have 2 vendettas in the air and a Forge World vulture with this multiple rocket pods and the auto cannon. And of course, we have an astropath, company command squad with Master of Ordnance as well. Yeah. And in my Vect army, did one change. I took away a Venom, took away the Scatter Laser Warwalkers, added in a Foot Seer instead of Jet Seer, 10 Guardians with a Wave Serpent. So we'll see how that works. Okay, stay tuned. We'll roll up for mission and get started right away. Mission 3 of the Berry Bash, which is the Scouring primary, Kill Points secondary. So we have the Scouring objectives, 6 of them. They are the black counters. These are work in progress, so it's swag that we're giving all gamers. We have the Dark Eldar won the roll-off to go first and have made the Imperial Guard deploy first to try and steal the initiative with Vect and the Super Heavy on the table, so it's a 3+ to steal. Vanguard Strike deployment, it is Night Fight turn 1. In reserve for the Imperial Guard, we have 2 Vendettas and the Vulture, and in reserve for the Eldar, Dark Eldar, we have 3 Eldar jet bikes, and they're suffering a -1 to reserve thanks to his Warlord trait. Mine is like a target priority one, re-rolling 1s against any unit that's within 3 inches of an objective. So we're going to flip the objectives. This one here is a 2. That one over there is a 3. Ouch. This one over here, no man's, is a 1.
This one here.
This one is a 3.
There's one right here.
There's one right on the other side. A 2. And of course, the Aquila is a 1.
It's not that important.
It is not that important at all. Silly Monk high technology doesn't really matter at all. Okay, so Dark Eldar going to try steal the initiative. I don't know why he's rolling for it.
I don't know. I want to get my death.
And does Vect steal against the Baneblade? And he rolls both of them. One of them is, one of them isn't, because I rolled 2 dice. Let's try that again, shall we? And it does! Okay, Vect steals, and we shall get this party started. Vect, turn 1. We had the Trueborn stealthily move through the ruins, and the Wave Serpent move aside and kill 4 in the Flamer Guardsman unit. We had Vex Raider turbo boost up. We had this Raider, both Ravagers, one of which is Prescience, because the Farseer actually Prescience that one, and then failed to Prescience to guide the second one. Doesn't matter. They put 2 hull points on the Baneblade through cover, and the penetrating hit just did an immobilized, which actually does nothing against a Super Heavy. And now we're moving. Oh, and then I boosted all my Venoms up the flank, and then the Guardians just kind of ran into terrain. So moving on to Imperial Guard, turn 1. The Baneblade split fire and knocked that Raider out of the sky, putting a hull point on it. Put 2 hull points on that Ravager, stopped it from shooting this turn, and then fired a lot of the Venoms, and all the Venoms passed their cover saves. That's right. The 3 Plasma Gunners took out Vex Ride and combined shooting also from this squad, who lost a Plasma Gunner from overheat, took out 3 of Vex units. So now we're moving on to Dark Eldar, turn 2, and the little jet bikes might show up on a 4+, thanks to the -1. They don't. I guided and prescienced both Ravagers. I moved these guys out here. They got out, shot into the Baneblade. 2 units of Venoms. This one over here fired into the command squad, and then this one over here fired, well, the Venom, the top gunner fired into the command squad. I killed 3 from the unit. They were to ground because they had dug trench holes, so they're fine now. The blasters, the lances, and the Vect even charged in. I was able to put 3 more hull points on the Baneblade. It's got 4 left. The Flamer unit of Guardsmen is failed their morale test, and they might have to rally at the start of the next turn, and I forced the Plasma Gunners to go to ground with the Wave Serpent, while the Trueborn shot into this unit and killed another one. So now we have 2 Vendettas and a Vulture ready to come on the board and start making this a very interesting game.
Black is the Vulture.
So Vulture does not arrive, but both Vendettas arrive. We had the snap shooting plasma gunners and last gun kill one of the Trubon. They passed the morale test. 2 Vendettas zooming on. We had 1 Vendetta fire 3 last cannons at that Raider, blowing it sky high and killing one of the models inside. They were pinned. Well, they decided to go to ground after the Baneblade unloaded on them, and 1 more died, and they're fleeing. Then we had the command squad underneath the shadow of the other Vendetta kill one of the Cabalite warriors, while the other Vendetta blew up the Ravager that was right there where that crater is. Meanwhile, Vect, facing off against the Baneblade, took 3 out of 3 Shadowfield saves against the main cannon, the auto cannon as well, saving the blaster buddy that's with him. And as well, they lost 1 model from the plasma gunners in that unit as they fired across the battlefield, and the Flamers decided to flee. So we're moving on to Eldar, Dark Eldar, turn 3. Do the Eldar jetpack show up on a 4+? They do.
Very bad.
This is the middle of turn 3. The Ravager fired into the Baneblade, putting 3 hull points worth of damage, leaving it with 1. Vect fired in a a haywire grenade, taking away its last hull point, and I rolled a 6, which means you get a Titanic explosion, which does.
Okay, it's strength D, then 10, then 5.
Awesome.
AP 2, 3, and 4.
Awesome. So we're going to get that 15-inch blast and go to town with it. Stay tuned to see what it reeks. The Baneblade scattered pretty much off the table, so measuring from, because then you put the template instead of the Baneblade, and it's the big 15-inch one. So Vect and his guy were under the strength 10 AP 3 blast. 1 Guardsman was under strength 5 AP 4, and he survived. And I got 2 saves to make. Vect is going to take them on his shadow field, on camera, because he's being a boss this game. First one. Yes! And Vect keels over and dies.
Play the war with
Yes, you do.
So he gets to take that.
And then the last guy in the unit explodes horribly because it's AP3. Thanks a lot for watching. What a fantastic turn. We had the Baneblade get taken down to 1 hull point, and Vect exploding it and dying horribly in the explosion together with the Cabalite that was with him. Very cinematic. We had the Wave Serpent be silly and kill like 7 out of that unit, leaving 6 out of the unit, leaving the 1 sergeant who tailed and is running. A lot of snap shooting against the Vendettas did nothing, and I killed 2 more models in the command squad, so they're just sitting there to ground, but the Astropath is still alive for the +1 to reserves, seeing if the Vulture shows up. It does it! Does. It does. It does. Oh, and then we had the jet bikes come in, and we had these guys rally and move up there. And we're moving on to Imperial Guard turn 3. We had the Vector Dancer, which I completely forgot about, come over here and fire at the hiding jet bikes, killing 2. They passed their morale test. The 1 Vendetta in swooping mode failed to kill the Ravager, who passed its Jinx save. The other Vendetta moved into hover, and combined with the plasma gun, put 1 hull point on said Wave Serpent. Now moving on to Dark Eldar, turn 4. I was unable to kill the hovering Vendetta that hovered last turn. Wave Serpent didn't do anything to it, and neither did 3 blaster shots. I killed the commander finally with some Venom firepower. This Venom got on top here and blasted, killing 1 of their number. With combined shooting from the Trueborn, I forced them to go to ground. The Ravager put 1 hit while being guided on the Vulture, but failed to do any damage. The Vulture chose not to evade. I have 3 little guys in the shadow of the tower around the objectives, and I have these Guardians around the objectives as well. So now we're moving on to bottom of 4. We had the hover mode Vendetta blow up the Ravager. We had the swooping Vector Dancer kill 2 out of the unit next to the 3-point objective that went to ground, and we had the hovering Vendetta stun the Wave Serpent. Other than that, we had the Guardsman in here blow up the tank with a plasma gun and a crack grenade, killing nobody in the explosion. Now moving on to turn 5, could be the end of the game. The Farseer took a wound, guiding the warriors that are in the shadow of this building. I put 2 hull points on this Vendetta. It's still alive, but it's shaken, so it can't go back into zoom. I consolidated around the 3-point objective for the primary. I shot into the Vulture with 1 snapshot didn't do anything. And then the Wave Serpent fired into that guy and put 1 hull point on that Vendetta, while this Trueborn, once again, forced them to go to ground. So they are just out of 3 inches of that objective. So now moving on to turn 5. Right now, there's no way I can get back into the kill point game. But let's see what Evan does. We had the kind of shaken and stunned Vendetta put a glancing hit against that Venom in the back. The Vulture moved into hover mode, blasted 1 guy out of the front unit because they went to ground after a flurry of missile shots. The other Vendetta got into swooping mode, or zooming mode, blasted the Eldar jet bike out from under that objective, and the Plasma Gunner survived an overheat and failed to do anything against the Wave Serpent. So now Evan is going to roll to see if it goes on to turn 6. It doesn't.
It does not.
It is game over. We'll come back with a recap of the game, the points, and some final thoughts. Okay, so Dark Eldar won the primary and had Linebreaker and Warlord for a total of 9 points in their favor. The Imperial Guard had secondary, which is 5 points, and they had Warlord and First Blood for a 7-9 loss to the Imperial Guard Dark Eldar victory. So, Evan, thoughts of the game?
The Lords of War really, I think they add something to the game. It's just that wow, kind of almost like that wow factor. I liked it. It was a great game.
It was a lot of fun. Having that Baneblade really added a lot. It basically soaked up my entire firepower for like 3 turns, and then Vect decided to explode himself, which was hilarious. Other than that, the changes I made to my list and all that stuff, I'll go over those in the tactical corner. But Evan, thanks a lot. It was an absolute blast.
My pleasure.
Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Make sure you check it out if you like it. Like the video. Share it if you really like it. Check out the blog and podcast and whatnot. Cheers. This is Skari. Out.
Come on.
Hello and welcome to another Tactical Corner. We'll start with Evan's army list. Very light on troops with a Baneblade. Of course, 1,500 points. It's a lot harder to put in a Lord of War in order to really maximize your point value. So I knew that I had to kill the troops, hold the objectives, and try and mitigate the Baneblade's damage as much as possible, which is why I rushed it as quickly as I did, especially with Vect having haywire grenades in combat would really give me an opportunity against the Baneblades. Yes, the Baneblade did soak up firepower for about 3 turns, but I did know that I had to kill it before those Vendettas really started wreaking havoc on my long-range firepower. Now, I was able to do that, even though it meant losing my Warlord, thanks to a bad Shadow Field roll. I did swing around the flank with my Venoms in order to put pressure on his Warlord, but also to prevent the Vendettas from really being able to have most rain on the battlefield, forcing them to come in at a weird angle. This would actually help me later in the game and force him to go into hover mode. Now, this would have given me more an advantage if I would have been able to kill them while they were in hover mode, but I was unable to do so, which meant that I was not able to come ahead of the kill point game, but still, with the amount of troops that I had on the field, able to really hold on to those objectives. Now, personally and tactically, I really liked the addition of the Wave Serpent. It gave me a great option against the infantry, even though I lost the Scatterlays Warwalkers. But playing against the Baneblade, good experience overall.